Okay, he's back. Yes. Mr. Kobudu,
Good morning, sir. Mr. Kobundu.
Good morning.
Yes. Let's proceed.
When you join the employment of the defendant, you are given a number of documents. Is that correct?
Milo, can you say that again?
Mr. Kobundu, please, sir. I have just 40 minutes.
30 minutes.
I have 40 minutes,
yes,
please.
I agree, but please, if you can speak a bit more clearly, I will appreciate that.
Can't even hear you clearly.
I think if you can speak a bit more clearly, I will appreciate that.
I'm already shouting on top of my voice. Do you recall that when you joined the defendant, you were handed over, or some documents were handed over to you?
Yes, my lord, some documents were handed over to me. All documents necessary for my onboarding were handed over to me.
Were you given a copy of the defendant code of business conduct when
Yes,
you
of
joined
course.
the defendant?
Yes, my lord.
Sorry?
Yes, I was.
You agree with me that the code form part of the contract of employment between you and the defendant?
Yes.
All the employees of the defendant were required to read that code.
Yes.
And also during the course of your employment, you receive a number of trainings in respect of the code.
Yes, I did.
Do you agree that there are 4 laboratories that were selected? And I want to ask you, do you agree that the refusal to give the 3 other laboratories the opportunity to speak to and be score on the additional questions that were raised by you and your team?
Oh, Mr. Nafi, you have to take that question again so I can also know. Yes.
You and your team raised additional 3 questions in respect of the laboratory to be selected. Is that correct?
My lord,
If it is correct, please, I don't want, if it is not correct, just say it's not correct. Please.
the
I have
team,
to take the time. If it is
the
not
team,
correct, say it's not correct.
the team made the selections of the laboratories that they appraised.
Is it correct that you raise some questions for the laboratories? Additional questions.
Mr. Nafi, one moment. Yes, witness, you said the team made the what?
The team made the selections, appraisals, and shortlisting of those laboratories were made by the project team. Because his question is not very clear, asking me and my team, and I think that's it wasn't clear because the team made those, did that work. So most of those details lie with the team.
So the decision lied with the team.
Yes.
Yes, Mr. Nafi.
So, do you agree that a refusal to give all the laboratory the opportunity to respond to the question is a violation of the code?
Refusal to
There
give
is-
the laboratory.
a refusal by the team to give all the laboratories opportunity to respond to all the questions, additional questions especially, is a violation of the code that you
My lord,
mentioned.
my lord, these questions,
Do you
know-
agree? If you don't agree, please, just say you don't agree, please. I have limited time. Please.
no, my lord, yeah, the questions are coming, what do you call it, in phrases and not contextual. Because the project was a supplier development project.
Please,
and
you
there
have
was a
not answered my
process
question.
flow.
You can provide explanation later. Please answer the question. A refusal not to give all the laboratories that were selected opportunity to respond to additional questions is a violation of the code, yes or no?
I don't think so. The discretion of the team.
You don't think?
I don't think so, because the discretion of the team.
Now, when you join the defender, you had the opportunity to the intranet of the company. Is that correct?
Correct.
He had opportunity.
To the intranet of the company. That is the defendant intranet. When the self-assessment was done, it was FEMFE that scored the lowest. And yet that FEMFE got the contract. Is that correct?
From the records, correct.
Thank you.
Fem what?
FEMFE.
Fem.
FEM, sorry, FEM, my lord. FEL. L for Lagos.
Yes.
In respect of the additional questions that were raised by the team, you and your team, FEMFE was given 100% mark. Is that correct?
From, I still want to take you back. When you're saying me and my team,
Oh, no, sorry, Mr.
it's,
Akobu, please.
it's
If it's correct, just say it is correct. If it is not, say it is not. In respect of those additional questions that you and your team raised, FEMFE was given the 100% marks. Is that correct?
the additional question the team raised for, I understand.
Was FEMFE given at this 100% mark?
They were scored against the additional questions
Lord,
they raised in terms of
I would
ability
like
to
to
invest.
answer my question first before you want to give any explanation. My question is either yes or no.
No,
Then you can decide to give explanation.
Amofi,
Yes, my lord.
you have put the question across to him. He has to answer the way he wants to. You leave it to the court to look at it when I'm writing.
As the publisher.
So if you ask a question and you want him to answer it in a particular way, it's going to be difficult.
As the
But
publisher.
he is on his own, you are on the other side.
As the publisher.
So he says, yes, Mr. Yes, witness. What's your answer to that? In respect of the additional questions raised by your team, FEMFE was given 100% mark. What's your answer to that?
Yes, my lord, because that question was specific to willingness to make the required investments. From my understanding, when this case started, the others were not willing, and FEMFE was willing, and the team decided to go with the company that was willing to make the investments to meet the company requirements.
So what's your answer? You said they were scored.
I need to look at that information. Madam, my lord, this is more than 4 years now, 6 years, but I know they were scored for that particular requirement and above others, because others did not move. So if it's 100, I know they were scored, but if it's 100%, I don't know what it is now, but I know they were scored and the other people were not scored. I don't know the score they were given. I can't remember. I can't remember.
For that process, for that particular process above others.
Yes, my lord, because the others declined making investment from my understanding,
The others declined.
making the required investments for the trace sampling program, and Femvel was willing to make the investment, and that's why they scored them and they didn't score the others.
In your written statement or note, you stated that the award of contract to the company that they score lowest mark was an error of judgment. Do you still stand by that?
No, that's not what is in my statement of oaths. My statement of oath, I said the error of judgment error was the fact that the other companies were not given the opportunity to be part of the subsequent processes.
Okay, that is
but,
the error.
but the team made justification why they didn't go that route, and all those documents are in our submission.
Okay, the fact that the other team were not giving, the other company were not given the opportunity to respond to the question was the error you are talking about. Is that correct?
Mr. Anafi, where you're going with it, it's going to be difficult for me to put this down. You know I'm writing.
I'm sorry, my house.
I'm not a stenographer.
I'm sorry, my
writing.
It's only
So
because
first of
the
all-
limited time I have.
Yes, because of the limited time. Remember, I also have to put it in such a way that I will understand.
I
In such a way
apologize for
if
that.
the matter goes on appeal, the Court of Appeal will understand.
I take please.
It's not meant just for me to listen. So
Apologize,
to
my lord.
understand and then be able to put it down in the appropriate way to capture what both parties are talking about.
I take please.
So, but if you have to do that, before he finishes, you put in another question. I end up not writing anything. I'll be looking at both of you.
I take please. I apologize for that.
It's important, I tell you. Yes, if we can go back a little bit, he says, well, your question is in his statement on oath, the written statement on oath is stated what? Because it was modeled up.
My lord, it's because of the time. My lord, that written statement or note is dated. My lord, paragraph 17 of the written statement or note dated 5th of October 2020, my lord.
2020.
Yes, my lord. Paragraph 17, my lord.
Yes, Mr. Komodo, do you have your paragraph 17? Is your witness statement on oath before you?
Yes, my lord.
Okay.
The paragraph 17, my lord, is talking about familial ties.
The question is, do you still stand by that?
Yes, my lord.
Before Mr. Wilson came from the UK to come and interview you.
Mr. Who? Wilson?
Wilson, yes, my lord.
Yes.
Mr. Akubudu, are you with us?
Yes.
Okay, because I can see you are looking at some document. Before Mr. Wilson came to interview you, you were aware that there was an allegation by Mr. Egbiama. Is that correct?
Correct. He told me the reason why he was coming.
Okay, it's okay.
No. Allegation by whom?
Mr. Egbiama. Egbeama.
He told me there was a petition, not an allegation, please. I just need to put this in context. He said there was a petition written by David Egbiama against the TSP team. And I had to facilitate that visit to make sure that
petition written by?
My lord, I couldn't hear clearly. Please, if you can repeat.
That it's not an allegation, but a petition.
Yeah, that a petition was written by David Obama against the TSP team and myself as technical director. So he didn't use the word allegation. And that's why I went ahead to facilitate, because I wanted to get that to a close, to facilitate all the conversations so that corporate could get all the details.
Yes, the next question.
Now, Mr. Akobudu, in your written statement or note, you talk about that Mr. Wilson came to Nigeria on a fact-finding mission. Is that correct?
Correct.
Yeah, fact-finding mission was in respect of the allegation by Mr. Igbiama.
Fact-finding mission in respect of the petition.
Mr. Igbiama's allegation.
Petition, please.
Okay, petition. Thank you. So before the interview with Mr. Igbiama, you knew the allegation against you.
Before
before the interview with Mr. Igbiama?
By Mr. Wilson, you knew the allegation against you.
He told me there was an allegation on the TSP project.
Did you know the allegation against you before
I didn't.
The interview?
I didn't have the details.
Sorry?
He said, I was not told the details. He told me that he was coming for a fact-finding on a petition written by Mr. David Obama on the TSP project. And I agreed and arranged all the visits and interview sessions with the TSP team, those that could be held physically, and then of course the rest he could hold virtually, because the whole team were not sitting in the same space.
Witness.
Yes, my lord.
Audible. I can hardly hear you, so I can record.
My lord, let me take that. Apologies. Let me take that again. Okay. So I was aware that he told me he was coming on fact finding on the petition written by Mr. David Obama. Of course, he went in to talk about him, but that's not the issue for now. And I accepted. So it's important you come and interview the team. As a matter of fact, I didn't know he was going to interview me. That's a fact. I was arranging for him to come and talk to the whole team, and which he did. And then when he came, he wanted to interview me. Of course, I granted him audience. So I was aware he was coming, but the details, I wasn't told. Up till now, I don't have that petition.
Up to now, you do not have what? See, if you use this, and if you begin by talking loudly for the court and then later reduce, it becomes difficult for me to capture what you were talking about. That yes, you were told that we are not told that he was coming for a fact-finding mission on the written by Mr. Agbama, but he did not know that he was going to interview you.
No, he did not. Yes, my lord. He told me he was coming for a fact-finding mission. He was coming to talk with my team, the team that ran the TSP project. I said, okay, and I organized, I wasn't even in the country, but I organized that trip for him to come and interview the team, those who were physically in Lagos, and those who were outside Lagos, you interviewed them virtually, because I didn't have the details of the petition. Up till now, my lord, I don't have that petition, so I don't know what is in there.
The period of the interview, you are the one that suggested the week for that period, the week of interview.
That you do not have the details of what?
The petition written by David Obama against the team, and where I was also included.
You suggested the period for the interview and also promised that other members of the team will be available.
Yes.
Good. At the close of that interview with Mr. Wilson, you are...
I'm writing.
I'm sorry, madam.
Yes, and the next one. Yeah.
After the interview with Mr. Wilson, Mr. Wilson told you that if you have any further information to provide, you are free to do that. Is that correct?
Correct, because I told him all the facts I knew about it, and I told him that I don't have any further information because he asked me, what do I know about the whole process? And I told him all I
At
knew
least he
about the
asked
whole
you to
process.
provide further information if you have.
Yes, and there was no further information, so I
Okay.
didn't go back to him.
That's
Yes.
fine. That's fine.
Yes.
There was an allegation of family relationship between your wife and Mr. Egiama. Is that correct?
Not correct. Not against my, not with
Not
my
correct.
wife and Mr. Ebrahima. Not correct.
Okay,
Mr. Ebrahima,
that's fine.
there's no allegation
That's
between.
fine. That's fine. It is not correct.
Yeah, Mr. Ebrahima and my wife. No allegation on that.
It is
The
not
allegation.
correct. That
Yeah,
there was
it's not correct.
Okay.
between his wife and
Okay,
Mr. Egiama.
put it down.
He said it is not correct. I'm grateful, my lord. During your course of your employment with the defendant, do you agree with me that it is the practice of defendant to conduct investigation on any allegation made against the employee?
Of course.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, do you agree with me that the purpose for setting up the trade sampling program was for the purpose of selecting the best laboratory for a particular assignment?
Purpose of setting up the trade.
Sampling program, that is the language, the term they use for it
Is for
in their company.
what is the purpose?
Yes. Do you agree that the setting up of that program was part of the function of the technical department, which you headed at the time?
Yeah, it was a BU project,
Okay,
but it was a technical project, so it fell into my department. So that's correct.
Question one, Mr. Adam Meteski, who you has to supervise that program. Is that correct?
Adam Meteski was the project leader of that project, was the leader of that project with the rest of the team.
The same
Yes.
Mr. Adam Meteski reported to you at the technical.
Yes. He was the QC director. He reported to me.
Mr. Nothing.
I'm sorry, my lord.
You have to allow him answer. If you model up the question as you're answering, before he finishes, you ask another one. I'm not going to put it down.
I agree, my lord. I'm sorry, my lord.
Okay. So what's your answer to that, Mr. Akobundo? Can you take that again?
My lord, can I make a submission? Most of the questions are modeled up. And they are modeled up. For example, sorry for taking you back, my lord. You know, he was talking about family.
Let me come back. Let me come to the question one after the other.
Start from your familiar ties, the family ties, because you modeled it up. You were talking about David Ebrahima, and David Ebrahima was noticed. Yes, my lord.
I'll go back to that. He asked whether there's a family tie between your wife and Mr. Egbema, and you said no.
I said no, yes.
And then I've recorded that. So we'll go on to the next question.
All right, my lord.
My question to him was whether there was an allegation of family tie.
Yes, allegation. You said no.
I said no. With Ebrahima, no. Yes. Yeah.
So now the question is that Mr. Adam Meteski was the person that you asked to supervise the program.
He was the project
lead.
That
correct?
Yes. He was the project lead, yes.
Okay. And that same Mr. Meteski reported to you?
Functionally, yes.
As the leader, you are well involved in the selection of FEMFE. Is that correct?
That's not correct, my lord.
That's what?
That's not correct.
It's not correct. You're not involved.
It was the team's decision.
Meaning that, so we don't say because as the leader, you abdicated your responsibility in selecting the company that is going to carry on a particular contract?
Not correct.
Not correct.
There's a chart of authority. That's a team led by a director. I was overseeing 33 countries, just one country, and we put the right people in place to run projects, make recommendations to the leadership team, and we, some are on for information basis if you follow a RACI. So they had the full empowerment to do that job. Yes, my lord.
Be better if you can speak up. I can hardly hear you. I'm looking at you from here. I don't have to turn back, but it's difficult. I don't know whether it's from here or they have to increase the volume from somewhere.
But we can hear him. I don't know.
But
Maybe.
I can't. It's difficult because I am not. I'm
back
trying to hear from my phone. I'm looking at my phone, but I can't hear.
As a couple.
Okay, let us 1 minute, please. Gladys. Some papers. Did you bring the papers? Yes. So, okay, yes. It's council. There's a council that's not properly ruled. Why are you sitting there? Council, yes, the one without the wig. Why are you sitting there if you're not properly ruled? Why are you sitting there? You have to step aside. You are not properly ruled. Why are you there? Yes, may we proceed, Mr. Nafi?
I'm sorry, madam. In paragraph 6 of your statement for notes, dated 11th day of February 2022. You stated that you only saw the TCCC severance pay plan for the first time in the pleading filed by the defender in the suit filed by Mr. Igiama. Is that correct?
Correct.
He saw.
And you maintain that position?
Yes, I do.
Correct.
He said he saw what? The TCC severance.
I only saw you for the first time in respect of the case that was filed by Mr. DP Igiama.
The first time when?
Yes, madam. In the pleading filed in that case.
Yes.
So throughout your 17 years of employment with defendant, you did not come across this document.
That document is the exclusive preserve. The answer is yes. That document is an exclusive preserve of HR, finance, and legal for severance purposes.
Mr. Kobundo.
Yes, my lord.
Did you come across these documents?
While in employment, no, my lord. I saw it for the first time in the case file that between David and the Coca-Cola company. At the time I was in employment, that document was not on the.
You can go ahead, John. Yes, the next
question. My lord. Okay, my lord. I said all the time I was in employment, that document was not on the intranet and there was no hard copy. It was an exclusive preserve of legal, finance, and HR.
Mr. Akubudu.